Just a quick refresher. I know we were at the very end of the last cohort and the very beginning of this one. So for any of you that I've talked to before or presented to before, a quick update across the board. We've been very aggressively building and funding, and we have a tier one VC ready to lead, probably the biggest person within blockchain through that VC to help us model our digital currency. Draper is the name. And then now we're also talking to Andreessen to join the round to go directly into our seed. We brought on the co-owner of Triller, which is the biggest competitor to TikTok. He's invested already, and he's giving us the entire Triller influencer space to go to market for user acquisition. We onboarded Brex's advisors for our fintech channels and partnerships. And still working with Alibaba to launch within the Asia ecosystem. That's the head of operations for Alibaba. And also work through a lot within the crypto, blockchain, fintech experts and global digital experts to validate that what we've created here is the true currency for the first time. So I will jump into it. Okay, so hello, my name is Nan and I'm the CEO of Markit. We basically stumbled across a whole new way to shop, period. This is a whole new way to commerce. It's a whole new way to purchase. And we've created a lossless transaction for the first time. So I will jump into it. We are fintech at heart. And honestly, we could have started as a Klarna or Afterpay or PayPal. But the best way to service this to consumers is to incentivize them to use it for a marketplace or iteration where they just have the best purchasing power. And that is exactly why we're starting within this luxury resale entry point, and we're doing a fintech transaction marketplace. So our technology is our secret sauce. Our technology includes two components. It's an IP ledger that we actually encapsulate the value of an item and back it directly to the commodity. So no, we're not crypto, we're not just blockchain, we are an internal system. So that US dollar that is actually purchasing the item, now we've permanently encapsulated that value, and now it stays with the value of the item or the item for the lifetime of the item. We add an extra layer of RFID sensors, which allows us this 1-2 system to give us automated 100% fail-proof authentication at scale, and it streamlines our entire operational fulfillment. This yields extremely high gross margins at scale. And the problem we're solving, it's a big problem. It's shopping. It's how we do commerce currently. It's how we purchase. Whether it's retail, resale, consignment, or rental, any kind of economical solution across the board, the moment we buy something, we're looking at an immediate inherent loss of that item. Not only are we losing money, but we're losing in value. So an example is like an Apple iPhone. At the moment I purchase it from Apple for $1,500, no one is ever going to give me $1,500 for that phone because they will buy it from Apple. So within 3 nanoseconds, is that phone truly no longer worth $1,500? No, the value is inherent in the item itself, because that is what the US dollar is purchasing to begin with. So that's exactly kind of what we deconstructed here in realizing what we stumbled across and making a true lossless transaction and a true digital currency for the first time. And the perfect application of this across the board, we're looking at the regular ways of purchasing now, which is a loss in value, loss in expenditure. So you have your product upon retail, and across the board, whether it's COGS, margins, markup, or fees, every business has to charge a certain amount to cover for their operational overhead. On top of that, they have to charge a certain amount to make their margins. We take out all of those problems, so we can pass 100% of that value to our users. And how we do that is a simple solution. So we are first of our kind in this marketplace and this transaction system. The ledger itself forms this true digital currency that's backed directly by the commodity. And because of this process of encapsulating that value, it bypasses loss in the sale process, not just for resale, also for retail. Our automation process with this ledger and the sensor allows us to scale and significantly reduce all of our COGS and yields extremely high margins. So what is our business model if we're not taking a cut of the value there or the price there, right? We do a membership subscription. So we pass on all those savings to our users, and we charge a very nominal amount, whether it's $9.99, $29.99, or $59.99 monthly to our users to transact on our marketplace. Big emphasis that this is not bartering, not swapping, not item for item of any kind. You would purchase on our marketplace the same way that you would purchase with US dollars or anything else. So it's a transaction alone. Currently, there are no tax laws yet on this way of shopping. So we've been working in stealth mode with Stern Kessler, which is one of the biggest IP firms in the world, to patent this entire process. And the patent is a business method patent. So it's a whole new way to do business, period. And we are also launching within Asia shortly after the US to do the patent process globally. And this market is a perfect place for us to come in. Resale is outgrowing everything. It's growing 25 times faster than retail. It's already outgrown fast fashion. Both pre and especially post-COVID acceleration of this is just exponential. I don't think anybody would have expected this market to boom the way it has. And I think it goes hand in hand with sustainable shopping trends and different things. But the key factor here is consumer behavior. The experience between resale and retail now is blurred. If I feel like I went to the Real and I got the Gucci handbag and it looks just like I got it from Gucci, but the price is much better, of course, I'm going to go with a more economical solution. And the current options across the board here, which is great for us, is that they're all having extremely big problems now at scale. A couple of years ago, they weren't facing these problems, but now it's their nightmare. So the Real just got sued by the SEC because they cannot guarantee authentication at this level of scale, moving inventory in less than 30 days, and it's all dependent upon a 100-person authenticator fleet. That's not possible. Go is just raised a big, they're almost IPO. They try to x-ray the shoe, that doesn't work. They try to have people sniff the shoe, that doesn't work. So everything comes down to in-person authentication bottlenecks and logistical costs for holding inventory. Also, hand in hand with that, their fees have gone up significantly. They are passing on all of those costs to their users, who are now looking at 60% fees. It's just absolutely horrible for the users. So if users are flocking off these platforms, making Facebook groups, trying to buy and sell directly to each other, going to point of sale stores, and they're trying to find an alternative. And that's where we come in. We solve all of these problems. So we're not only just going up against GOAT or the Real, we're going up against both, because GOAT is focused on becoming the Real and vice versa. They're trying to include items for both sneaker and luxury. So we will start there. And we are peer-to-peer transactions. So the user lists the listing and we approve into the marketplace. We do the middle process of authentication and verification before shipping out to end user. User pays for shipping, just like on GOAT and the Real. And we do membership pricing, so there are no high fees. And we started in stealth mode and Envision. My first pitch was to the co-head. My first pitch was to co-head of private investment, Goldman Sachs. So they told us right away, they realized what we did here in fintech, to go into hiding where no one will find us, and no one did within this vision market. So we developed our platform entirely from scratch, built it to scale, went through point of sale partnerships, and refined operations, streamlined everything. So beta gross margin here is 87%. The gross margin is so high because, again, of our business model. We've taken out a lot of the overhead because of our automation processes. And that once we got to 80 to 225 store partnership, we realized we had to evolve past the stealth mode. And we came to LA, duplicate the platform to focus on the sneaker market. And this was made with the CEO of Triller, who's a big sneakerhead. And so we actually talked to Eddie Liu, co-founder of GOAT, who wanted to acquire our technology. And we came back to the drawing board and realized, we can go much bigger than sneakers or GOAT. We can go straight into MVP marketplace, synonymous with Amazon or Alibaba, because this works for retail. So no more loss in retail shopping. Happy to give examples of that in a follow-up discussion. So this is a quick overview of our tech. Happy to go into deep dive on this to explain everything. But basically, our platform creates many fintech channels. So we have both payment gateways on and off the platform that we will create on our own. Right now we use Stripe, but you can imagine how much liquidity is moving within our platform if people are selling Hermes handbags left and right. That also creates different channels for fintech digital banking. So that's why we are working with Brex, and eventually in time we hope to have our own. And we're an independent API entirely built at scale, running on AWS. So currently our funding process, within the last couple of weeks, initially, I just wanted to raise a 250K safe in order to go into our C successfully, so that we have a successful MVP launch. We've had really phenomenal interest from tier 1 VCs and a lot of VCs. So we're going straight into a 1 to 3 million seed raise at a 7 to 8 million valuation with a lead tier 1 already. And the safe, we may consider the safe depending on the timeline, but we have already over 3.5 million there for first rights. And an amazing team across the board. We wouldn't have been able to do this. For example, our CTO is the CTO who built the Triller app. So that's how we have over 45 developers, veteran CMO, CFO, we just onboarded veteran COO, and phenomenal advisors across the board. I have to add a lot of people to this list right now. So thank you so much, and welcome to a whole new way to shop.